Hey y'all, gravity. Anything above ground, live it. How y'all doing this afternoon? New start to the work week or the life week, whatever you want to call it. Before we start, of course, prayers to the victims and their families because they had a lot to offer this world. And of course, some white supremacists said your gifts and your aura to the world should be extinguished. And fortunately, he in the dirt. Family, I get it. It's 2023, and I get it. We're in the thralls of the election season. I understand it, and everybody's trying to, jockey for position because they want to be the lead voice out here. They want to tell everybody their opinions and have everybody follow it and make money. And I get that. I really do. Hell, I mean, New Black Media. I mean, it's very competitive. Shout out to New Black Media. We all have one common goal, but you know what? We look at each other. Sometimes we look at each other like, oh, you got me this week. I'm gonna get you next week. It is what it is. But we all have a goal. We want to make sure that you guys get the information that is true, to the point, and informative enough that you can make great life decisions, and then you could pass those down to the next generation, because of course we're all not going to be here forever. And I like to think that over the past year and a half that I've been 2 years now that I've been doing content religiously on YouTube, that I've grown as a person. I would like to think that. I mean, it's tough out here. I mean, y'all know me. I'm a former coon, so half a coon, I should say, maybe 25% coon. I ain't sure the number because I didn't know a lot of y'all then. But then when you go with competition, a very bad habit shows up when you're in competition. You're trying to be, at times, more provocative than your contemporaries. We see that in the mainstream media all the goddamn time. They all want to be the more provocative person, the more provocative personality, the more provocative network. So people will gravitate to them because everybody wants to see the car wreck. It's no different here on YouTube. And it's no different than the black conservative sector, or what we like to call the black conservative sector, or I like to call the black dumb servitude. Family, I don't care. I'm just going to say it. I truly believe the reason why I got suspended for a week was because a certain YouTuber decided that he didn't like the fact that me doing a character closely resembled him, and he put in a claim on me. I don't even care no more. I don't. I'm at the point right now, family. I didn't embrace villainy. I don't care no more because y'all are my top priority outside of my wife and children. Y'all are my top priority. Because when I'm gone or they throw me off of here, y'all are going to still go outside. So I don't care no more. So yeah, instead of having the debate or coming and confronting me about it, you go run to daddy YouTube. Cool, that's fine. We gonna play that game, sir. We gonna play that game. So check this out, sir. They get to do a little thing on YouTube here called reaction videos. Fair use and all that. I get to critique things. We all get to critique things if we won't. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. Because you said something. You said something that the title of my live stream has indicated. You spun the Jacksonville deletion of 3 black people. You spun it. And I come to find out a little bit of information about the reasoning behind why you spun it, which I'm going to show later. But let's get into this, family, because I understand. I do understand. Hey, guys, I understand. I understand. I understand. I understand. Now, you may think I'm talking about this white man. Oh, no, no, no. This white man, I don't even know this white man. But the person who did this video decided that they have a rationale. Instead of consoling the victims and, putting out a narrative that, this was wrong. You don't even have to mention white supremacy. But this was wrong, and we've got to combat the violence against people. Oh, no, you blamed race hustlers for how people think upon hearing this tragedy. Didn't realize that, but okay.
Get that water. He about to get this work. He about to get this work.
Send him with the dislike one time. Let's make sure we good. Fair use.
So a racist walks into a Dollar General with a semi-automatic rifle and a pistol and starts shooting black people. This is America. This is the United States of America. According to the sheriff, the shooter, who they haven't named yet, is believed to have acted alone and allegedly wanted to kill himself. He was in Jacksonville's Clay County with his parents and authored several manifestos, including one to his parents and another to the media. And the sheriff adds that at least one of the guns had a swastika drawn on it. Because why not? It's Florida. Ron DeSantis said that the gunman was a scumbag and described the shooting as horrific. I agree with you, DeSantis. You go on to say that the gunman was targeting people based on their race. That is totally unacceptable. 2 for 2. I absolutely agree. Then you said the guy killed himself rather than face the music and accept responsibility for his actions, and so he took the coward's way out. He didn't accept responsibility for his actions. Actions that were made infinitely more simple to commit because he lived in Florida. For one thing, Nazis feel real comfy in your state, Governor. Why is that? Why do they feel so safe in your state? I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that in January of last year in Orlando, a bunch of neo-Nazis staged a demonstration at an overpass over the highway, and you called it an attempt by Democrats to smear you.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about an absolutely horrible story out of Florida involving a man who is white that walked into a Dollar General and...
Mistake number one, sir, we're not doing this in 2023. It's a white man. That's a white man. Not a man who's white. We're not doing that. Oh, no, 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 no. Because if this was a black person that did that, you would have said a black man. And we've heard you say this before, so you're not going to lie.
And killed 3 people who were black. Now, as far as the story is right now, and it's
3 black
people. The story can change, but this is the story as of right now. This was a racially motivated hate crime. Okay, this was allegedly done because the man hates black people. And apparently he has a manifesto. And we have the information about why this occurred. Now, this is just one of a series of videos that I've done, okay, in which you do have racially motivated hate crimes. A lot of videos I've done recently have been in the opposite direction, okay? We're talking about black men or black gunmen going and killing people because they're white, okay? I talk about it in both directions, okay? So I want people to understand that. But again, clearly this is an...
Oh, okay. So because your thought process is black people are killing white people because they're white, I have to take your word for it, but you get to put caveats when a white man does it to black people.
Issue. So I want to talk about this incident, mainly because, again, it is a tragic incident, and we should all have the victims of this incident in our thoughts and prayers. Clearly, it is terrible to just be out at Dollar General and then some lunatic decides to open fire on you because of your skin color. That is not right. That is unacceptable in this country, and I want to see a lot less of this going both ways in this country, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I want to talk about it. So let's go ahead and play this clip so you guys get a better understanding of kind of what happened in this situation. Take a look.
With sources and neighbors, this again is the suspect, Ryan Palmeter. Actually, Jax is live in Oakleaf outside the suspect's home. And Jake Stofan is there. Parents called the Clay County Sheriff's Office this morning after they found a hate-filled manifesto in the home.
Well, according to Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters, there were multiple manifestos left behind by the shooter, making it explicitly clear hatred towards black people. Now, neighbors here told me they had no idea 21-year-old Ryan Palmeter held those racial resentments, but one neighbor did tell me he came off as an unhappy, standoffish young man. Photo of 21-year-old Ryan Palmeter as the man who carried out today's tragic mass shooting at a Newtown Dollar General. Sheriff's deputies were present outside Paul Meter's home throughout the day and into the evening. Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters said Paul Meter's parents had called Clay County Sheriff's Office earlier in the day, reporting their son had left behind a manifesto.
By that time, he'd already began shooting in Jacksonville.
Sheriff Waters says the shooter's victims were all black. Waters says his multiple manifestos and the swastikas drawn on his AR-15 style rifle made it undeniably clear his rampage was racially motivated.
This shooting was racially motivated, and he hated black people. He wanted to kill.
Waters also noted Paul Meter had previously been Baker acted in 2017 and was involved in a domestic call in 2016, but had no history of arrest, adding it was unclear whether he obtained his firearms legally.
I can't say that he owned.
Okay. We all know what happened, and we don't need to belabor it. I don't want to do that to the family. I was looking something up, so I was like half listening. But let's get to this. And look at the first person he uses as an example. Of course. Of course. Of course. He has to use Tariq.
Not see happen in this country. And again, my thoughts and prayers are with the family members and the victims in this situation.
And by the way, I'm sorry for cutting it off again. Look at his t-shirt as he's talking, because I'm going to show you something in a little while. It makes sense why he says what he says, but go ahead.
Apparently, this guy was also targeting a local HBCU as well, too. Apparently, a security guard had spotted him, and then the guy had essentially ran away when a security guard had spotted him. So again, this guy was clearly targeting black people, so it seems, according to the manifesto. We're going to talk a little bit more about that and some strange things that are going on with this incident in general. But I want to read this tweet right here from Tariq Nasheed, because again, you have the woke race hustlers of America once again blame the GOP for something like this when stuff like this happens. So they're trying to take advantage of it. So let's read here. The latest anti-black massacre at the hands of another radicalized white supremacist is a result of constant anti-black rhetoric being normalized by people like Ron DeSantis and the liberal white media for giving DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, and others a platform to spew their anti-black rhetoric. Again, I wonder what specifically did they say that's anti-black, right? Like,
I'm gonna let y'all legislate that, family, because he's saying DeSantis never said anything anti-black. He never said the liberal white media never said anything anti-black, and now he's saying Vivek didn't say anything anti-black when they're literally on TV every day saying something anti-black or being slick about it. Hi. I'm gonna let this video play because, of course, the little lady wants strawberry ice cream, so I gotta go get her strawberry ice cream. But I'm gonna let y'all play that.
for example, being against affirmative action, or I don't know, maybe we shouldn't have queer studies taught in African-American history. Again, I'm trying to figure out exactly what is anti-black about anything that Vivek Ramaswamy or Ron DeSantis have said, and how in the world did that motivate this? Again, people just go on the internet and just say anything, right? That's one thing I know about internet. People will literally go on the internet and just say anything, okay? But hey, I can point to a whole lot of anti-white things that are said in the media and by Democrats that, hey, I can argue motivated some of the mass shootings against white people, okay? And I've covered a couple of those stories where we have situations where a black shooter went and hunted down white people and killed them just because they're white, and we know that that's what they did because they admitted to it, okay? And again, you don't see the same type of coverage. You don't see the same type of concern. You don't see people going out here and blaming Democrats and the liberal media for spewing anti-white rhetoric. But you have a situation like this, the first thing these people want to do is try to blame the GOP and say, oh, well, it's because the GOP is anti-black rhetoric. Again, I'm trying to figure out exactly what anti-black rhetoric coming from the GOP inspired this. Because I can name a whole lot of it coming from the left. Like, for example, when you call people who disagree with you Nazis and white supremacists, okay, and all types of other things. Yeah, I think that would motivate an anti-white shooting. This is platform on mainstream liberal media. The benign neglect policies from the Biden administration that refuses to give specific protections to black citizens from these attacks is part of the problem as well. Again, I'm trying, what protections do you want? What protections would have prevented this from happening? What could have Biden had done to give more protection to black citizens to prevent this from happening? What are you looking for? It's already being investigated. It probably will be charged as a hate crime.
Oh, good. Sir, the man is dead. What are they going to charge? Sir, again, the man is dead. He killed himself. What are you going to do? You're going to put charges on him when he's dead? How does that help the victims? All the victims' families can do now is sue the parents. That's all they can do. And maybe Dollar General. Oh, my God. So you've listened to Ron DeSantis. You've listened to liberal white media. You've listened to Vivek. And y'all are really going to sit up here as black conservatives and tell me they say nothing anti-black. Vivek literally, sir, maybe you missed this, but I saw your video on that. We're going to play that too. You literally heard Vivek in front of a white woman who called him out for saying that a black woman was the modern KKK Grand Wizard, and you're going to tell me that's not anti-black. That's what you're going to tell me. That's what you're going to tell me. That's not anti-black. DeSantis literally saying where woke, Florida is where woke goes to die. You're cool with that. Everybody in the world knows what woke is. Woke is a euphemism for black. That's not anti-black. They literally had a picture up the other day, and you don't like DeSantis. They literally had a picture up of him at some event, and a lady had that jacket on with that saying and an alligator on it. And you could easily look up alligator black people and see what these white supremacists did to the ancestors, the many ancestors, the many predecessors, what they used to do with them babies. You saw exactly what they did. They don't even hide it. But maybe since you're not a student of history, sir, they used to take black babies and feed them to alligators, sir. I'll say that again, and for your audience, they used to take black babies and feed them to alligators. Oh, we're going to get graphic today, family, but y'all know this already. They used to stomp on babies' heads, sir. So for you to tell me now that these three entities have never said anything anti-black, and they're going to investigate a dead man, but they can't investigate cops who are on film killing black folk, says a lot about how you view this country. But I'm going to let you continue because I stopped you.
Oh, we know now. So what more protections do you want? I don't.
It's called anti-hate legislation for black people, so this bullshit can stop. That would be nice. That would be the least you can do. And I'm talking about the U.S. government. That could be the least.
Understand this guy's going to go, well, he's dead. He deleted himself. But if he was to be caught, okay, if he was to be caught alive, he would have been charged to the fullest extent of the law and plus had
bullshit. Because we saw when Peyton Gendron got caught, Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, sit there and struggle for weeks trying to put a hate crime on him. She literally debated with herself back and forth to mark it a hate crime. Even though she had all the evidence that she could have made it a hate crime as soon as she saw the gun. She waited weeks. She waited till the feds were going to take the case and then said, okay, I'm going to charge it as a hate crime in New York. And since it happened in New York, I'm going to take precedent. No, Black Spider, I understand you don't want to listen to the lies, but I need y'all to listen to this because this jerk has 701,000 people that follow him on YouTube. And this kind of rhetoric is going to influence people when they go to that election. He tells his audience that we be doing something wrong all the damn time. This is the man who literally said Jalen Walker deserved what he got. And I'm looking right now, and it looked like he might have taken that video down because I can't find it. I'm going to keep looking. And if he took it down, I'm fixing to clown him. But continue. I cut you off again.
Hate crime charges on top of it. What exactly are you looking for? Again, this is the real grift right here. This man is trying to pretend that there's something more that could have been done.
I know this fool
to punish the person that committed.
I know this fool ain't talking about nobody grifting. Boy, you wearing the grift right now. Okay, I might as well show it to you now. Y'all see that t-shirt he wearing? Tabernacle. Ain't nobody grifting more than this man. This is literally the t-shirt he's wearing. He's literally selling this shirt. Ain't nobody grifting more than him. By the way, sir, MAGA Hub, I like how the first thing you have is the gun. I've talked to many a MAGA people, and there's one thing they don't like about Trump, that he tried to take away people's access to guns. So yeah, you kind of contradicted yourself on this t-shirt. I'm just saying. Oh, we know that's why he don't come on. That's why he's not on Twitter. Cause he knows. Why you think he don't do live streams? Because he knows. He know if it was a live stream, you know, I would pop up very quickly. Very quickly. And I'd force him to sit up there and have that conversation. But knowing him, he's going to have his one moderator in there. You can put it in the sink. Yes, put it in the sink. Thank you so much. Kids. Anyway. His one mod would probably block me. But that's okay. You're not getting any lemonade. Because you just had ice cream. Go read a book, please. Thank you so much. All right. Kids. If you got them, y'all understand. If you don't got them, go make some, then you'll understand. Smoke Splitter, hello. I didn't even do any introductions. My bad. After I'm done with this video, I'll do introductions. Who's the D head you're talking about? Greg Foreman. Yeah, him. I'm talking about him. The Black conservative perspective. Yeah. Okay. Sure. But sorry, I cut you off again. Finish your video.
This act when this person would have already been punished to the fullest extent of the law. I'm trying to figure out
Don't exactly tell that lie.
What this guy is getting at. In Florida, allowing permitless carry last month helped people to act on this anti-black propaganda. Again, it's just nonsense. It really is. But isn't it crazy how in a situation like this, we know the motive immediately? Okay, he has a manifesto. I guarantee you the manifesto will be released immediately. However, when it comes to the Nashville shooting,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Immediately, sir, it's been 2 days. It's been a day and a half. I'll say a day and a half. Where is this manifesto? Immediately means at that moment. Where is the manifesto? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh like that, especially directly into the mic. I know I messed up somebody's ear with their earbuds in the air. I'm sorry. But where's this manifesto? Because trust and believe, if they released it, Jason would have talked about it last night and probably got his video restricted. I would have had it. I would have went live on it after I came home from work. Torian would have had it in his commentary. Where is this manifesto, Greg? The news has it. They're not going to put it out. We know why they're not going to put it out. They're not going to put it out because it's going to be nothing but anti-black propaganda, and you conservatives are going to have to admit that white people, I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. You're finally going to maybe have to start admitting that, yeah, they're talking about you too. That grift money ain't going to feel that good anymore. No, Deidre James, hello. He's trying to be Ben Shapiro. You can't out Shapiro Ben Shapiro. It's impossible. It's very impossible.
That manifesto, well, you know, they don't really want to put it out there because it might be dangerous. Maybe I can argue that in a situation like this, releasing this manifesto might be dangerous, right? We can make the same argument, right?
It might be dangerous.
This manifesto might make it easier for attack.
Do y'all hear the comments? Man, do you hear his commentary, Griff? Do you hear the Griff in the commentary? You said they're going to release it quickly, now you understand that they might not do it because it's dangerous. What? Oh, Jesus.
Acts like this to happen again, it might motivate copycats, because that is the excuse that has been used not to release the Nashville shooters manifesto. I found all this stuff fascinating, right? Truly fascinating. I found it fascinating how this guy used AR-15, which is the most hated gun by the left for whatever reason. I really don't know. I don't know what really is so scary about that compared to other sporting rifles. But you know, hey, I mean that's their scary gun of choice. He decorated it with swastika.
Sir, how are you a MAGA? How did you create a shirt called MAGA Hub and be for 2A and don't realize why people like AR-15s? Are you serious? You sound like Sheila Jackson Lee, bro. Why don't you just tell me AR stands for assault rifle? Why don't you just do that for me? Is he serious? Sir, the reason why everybody likes the AR-15 is because it's the cheapest rifle you can get and the most customizable, sir. And I'm not a gunhead like that, but even I know that. That's the most accessible sporting rifle. You said it just now. It's a sporting rifle. You can buy it anywhere. That's why it's the most popular. It's called supply and demand. That's economics 101. If it's something that the people want, they're going to want it. Demand goes up. If you have enough supply, the demand either stays steady or it keeps rising. Now, when they're losing it and the demand goes up, then you got a problem, because then you can charge whatever you want. But right now, the AR-15 is still very affordable. Thank you, CRU. The 300 base model. You could turn that into an M16 style rifle if you want. Now, you might get flagged by ATF, and I don't think you want them problems, but I'm just saying, you can have fun. But your first image on your shirt is a gun. And you don't even understand why they want the gun. Boy, keep talking.
To kill black folks in deep state Florida, which is also hated by the left. And he deleted himself before anybody could ask any questions.
Coward.
Seems legit, right? Seems legit, right? It seems pretty straightforward, right? I'm just saying, man. I mean, I just find the difference in regards to how the media treats these incidents to be fascinating. Okay, again, we're not going to get the Nashville shooter manifesto. We're not going to get that, okay? But we're going to get this immediately. I guarantee you. No doubt, within a week, we're going to have a manifesto, okay? I've covered.
So you went from immediately to a week.
A few stories in the past about how you had, these types of hate crimes that happen where, a black person killed white people because they're white, but it's not going to get the same mainstream liberal media coverage, right? People aren't going to be out here, talking about it as much, right? And talking about how much this is a big problem in the country. Again, it's just amazing to me the difference. But regardless, with that being said, again, this is a tragic incident. Clearly nobody likes to see anything like this happen. It's terrible. The shooter was a coward. Okay, he took the easy way out, and this is something that unfortunately we do see in this country. I just wish that when it happens on both sides, that we would give the same type of attention to it and condemn it the same. But
when it happens on both sides, wish we give it the same attention. You jerk offs love bringing up Chicago. Y'all love bringing up Chicago. I don't hear no caveats when y'all bring up Chicago or liberal cities. I don't hear this. You have sympathy in your voice for this man. When it's black people doing the shooting, you ain't got no sympathy. Again, you are the same person who said, quote, Jalen Walker deserved what he got. That's what you said. Then you got your whole ass section bigging you up like you said something impressive. Here we go. Telling a kid for years that he's nothing but a white oppressor is bound to make him resentful enough to lash out. What? Oh, God. Wow, I'm impressed on how fast the media got access to the contents of the manifesto, seeing as we are still waiting for the manifesto of the Tennessee shooter. Hey, stupid. This is why I know they don't listen to the news. Hey, stupid. He gave out the manifesto to people, including his father. And guess where he lived? That's right, with his parents. They found the manifesto in the house. Oops. But okay. But okay. By the way, I'm still looking for his Jalen Walker video because I don't want to keep saying that he said Jalen Walker deserves to be deleted, but I want y'all to hear it for yourself. So while I'm doing that, he told another lie, folks. Yes, he did. He put up this video just 2 hours ago. Yeah, about 2 hours ago. Even though it says 58 minutes here, but it was about 2 hours ago. This man said, CNN anchor called out for trying to use dead black victims to push liberal white supremacy narrative. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Is he serious? Sir, quick question for the family. Why is your... I'm gonna let y'all legislate that. Why what's going on here? I don't get it. All right. I'm still looking for that video, but I'm gonna let y'all listen to this. Fair use.
We need to have real, open, honest, raw conversation as Americans. That is our path to national unity. And there are many Americans today who are deeply frustrated by the new culture of anti-racism that's really racism in new clothing. And we need to have that debate in the open. Dan, I think
I'm not so
doing,
sure how
with
provoking
respect,
a discussion
what the media do
of
picking on some fringe comment in the context of a broader context that I was offering it in a speech.
All right, so you just said that your comment was fringe.
Let's have the courage to confront the meat of that. You know, I'm saying you drew a
You
fringe
just
comment from a
described
much
your
longer
comment as
speech. As I described you picking one fringe comment from a long speech that I gave to duck debate from the real issue that I think you don't want to have, Dana, because I think you probably agree with me on this. That this is toxic.
I think that this debate,
leading politicians
I think that this debate
dividing
is,
us on the basis of race, and I want to have.
I think this debate is fascinating and interesting and opening and important. What I did was explain to our viewers that you were asked a question and you took it to a point where you called a sitting member of Congress who is black, who was having discussions about race, calling her the modern grand wizard of the KKK. And I'm just not sure how that's open and honest discussion.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I know you guys are getting tired of me making videos about Vivek Ramaswamy, but like I've told you guys before in the past, the guy is all over the place. Okay, he's giving me a lot of content to make. I'm just saying. Yesterday, we reacted to a video of Vivek going on CNN and talking to Dana Bash about comments that he made about Ayanna Pressley and Ember X. Kendi, essentially saying that their rhetoric about so-called black and brown people who don't agree with them politically is basically like rhetoric that comes from the grand wizards of the KKK. Okay, and CNN got upset about it, right? The whole liberal media, they're absolutely losing their minds right now over him saying that. And not only did he say it, he doubled down on it, right? He doubled down on what he said. And I don't think he's going to apologize. And this is probably the first time that I've ever seen a Republican, one, with the cojones to actually say something like that on national television. And then two, to not apologize for it, to actually double down on what he said. Okay. I've never seen that before. Okay. Because most times what happens is that if a Republican actually has the cojones to say something like that, eventually they're going to issue an apology. I don't think.
Did you forget about Trump, who you love? How many times has Trump said something that he ain't apologized for? All right.
We're gonna get an apology from Vivek Ramaswamy for those comments, because his comments essentially are kind of the way that a lot of minorities, in my opinion, that aren't liberal feel. Okay, that's how they feel about liberal minorities or so-called minorities that come out here and try to say that, well, people that don't agree with them aren't actually really so-called people of color. Was more concerned about his comments, comparing them to the grand wizards of the KKK, more so than actually having the conversation and debate about.
You see how he's disingenuous? You see how he's disingenuous? Sir, Who did he call the Grand Wizard of the KKK? Because I know you saw the full clip when she asked the initial question. He called a black woman the modern Grand Wizard of the KKK. That warranted her asking that question. How can you sit there and talk about a sitting member of Congress and equating them to the KKK? So you're just going to skip past that. Great. Got it.
The fact that she can say something like that in the first place, right? Is it right for Ayanna Pressley to essentially try to strip people of their identity because they don't agree with her politically, right? She don't want to engage in that debate. So again, that brings me to another part of the interview that I want to talk about, which is Vivek making the comments that white supremacy is basically like a unicorn, right? It's rare. He's never seen a white supremacist before. He's never personally met one. The same type of stuff that I basically say every day, because again, I don't see white supremacy as a threat in my life. It's not a threat.
I'm sorry, Carlin. Wait, my bad, brother. I'm sorry. Boy. Oh my God. He said he don't see white supremacy as a threat. He don't see white supremacy as a threat. Oh man, you don't see white supremacy as a threat, sir.
You bring him here, right here. Do you hear me? Right here.
What?
You heard what I said. Just do it.
White supremacy is not a threat. Man, I swear. Okay, you know how they always say people living in a matrix? I'm starting to think these black dumb servitude members are living in a matrix. They're the ones in the matrix. They really think there's just lush fields around with sunflowers, a nice warm sun, and white people and black people are just, you know, eating half-ass barbecue and drinking beer, and there's racial harmony. What? How do you sit there as a black man over 30 and tell me white supremacy ain't a problem? Sir, 2 years ago, white supremacy ran up in the U.S. Capitol. What are you talking about, sir? Oh, I get it. You probably only did a video on the BLM dude that ran in there. Ah, hey, baby. This man says white supremacy don't exist. He said it, though. He said it's not a threat to his life. Hey, he in Tennessee. But he said he in Tennessee. Tennessee just voted to have lynching as a crime, as a punishment for a crime. Lynching. Yeah, but white supremacy ain't a problem. All right. You gotta love it. Continue.
Factually and statistically speaking, I have much more to be concerned about in regards to people who look like me than the so-called white supremacists. So I want to react to Dana Bash getting triggered over Vivek Ramaswamy's comments about white supremacy, because he's putting a whole lot of truth out here in the mainstream liberal media, specifically when it comes to this conversation about race, and they can't stand it. They're absolutely losing their minds over it because they
just love it. Hey, Torian, we're all brother. He does use stats when he tries to demonize black people. That's when he uses stats. Oh man, so you want to bring up when black people intraracial crime? Now you want to bring it up, but white supremacy don't exist. You sit up there with the rest of the right complaining about these quote unquote leftist Soros back woke DAs and judges. Y'all, that's white supremacy, sir. George Soros is literally white supremacy. He's a 93-year-old billionaire white supremacist. Literally. The brothers and sisters that have been in the military have told me it's a white supremacist haven. The cops are white supremacist havens. Sir, white supremacy is not a threat. Okay, back to the serious voice. Sir, I need you, Greg Foreman, to go look up the 2006 FBI report where they documented the white supremacist groups in these police jurisdictions across the country. During Bush's administration, mind you, not Obama's, not Trump's, not Clinton's, Bush's. They were investigating this for years. You're still the FBI, because I'm sure that when Bush was in it, it wasn't woke. It wasn't corrupt. They said there's a whole bunch of white supremacists in these police organizations. And if something's not done, y'all are going to have a problem on your hands. But white supremacy doesn't exist. You've seen stories of black people lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in appraisal costs on their homes because they're black from these white and Jewish and Asian controlled banks. You're still going to tell me ain't white supremacy? But when they fake it and have a white person act like they're the homeowner, their numbers go back up to the point where it should be, or even more. Wells Fargo got called out for that, sir. But white supremacy doesn't exist, and it's not a threat to you. White supremacy is not a threat. When we literally watched in Akron, Ohio, again, you said it. Jalen Walker gets gunned down by 8 cops. None of them cops get to face justice. Not one. Not one. But white supremacy don't exist. White supremacy has brothers and sisters that are sitting in jail right now past their sentencing for BS crimes. But white supremacy don't exist, right? Oh boy.
Ever seen somebody actually have the cojones to actually tell the truth about it? So without further ado,
tell the truth.
Joining me now is 2024 presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, sir. I want to start with what I began the program with, which is this racist shooter killing 3 black people in Jacksonville yesterday. What is your reaction to the shooting?
It is such a tragedy, and my heart goes out to those families. This should not be happening in the United States of America, and it is wrong. The reality is we have a mental health epidemic in this country. There are reports that this particular individual, the perpetrator, was indeed evaluated for mental health deficiencies as well. And I think we need to have the courage in this country to bring back a practice of putting back psychiatrically ill people who pose a risk to their communities into psychiatric institutions, not just drugging them up, but faith-based approaches and other approaches that fill our longing for purpose and meaning in this country. I think it is just a shame that we even have mass shootings like this, be it the one that happened in Florida, be it the recent one, the Nashville shooter in a Christian school, killing 6 in a school. We have to address that mental health epidemic, and we need leaders with the courage to do it. But my heart goes out to those families, and I hope something like this never happens again.
Mental health is one aspect of these shootings, and apparently, and we're still learning a lot about what happened. The facts are still coming out. Also, this was very much apparently racially motivated. The sheriff there said point blank that this shooter had manifestos coming, 3 manifestos, and said specifically that he went to.
Hey, family, the puss bag took the video down. His Jalen Walker video where he said Jalen Walker deserved it, the puss bag took it down. It's not on his page. Interesting. I'm still looking because he might have changed the title. He might have changed it. I'm still looking. I'm going to let the video play.
To this dollar store with the intent of killing black people.
I think that is heinous and deserves to be called out for what it is. The reality is we've created such a racialized culture in this country in the last several years that right as the last few burning embers of racism were burning out, we have a culture in this country largely created by media and establishment and universities and politicians that throw kerosene on that racism. And I can think of no better way to fuel racism in this country than to take something away from other people on the basis of their skin color. I've been saying that for years. And I think that is driving, sadly, a new wave of anti-Black and anti-Hispanic racism in this country. I think the right way forward is if we want to stop hate and discrimination on the basis of race, let's stop discriminating on the basis of race and see what unites us as Americans, because I do not think this kind of racial division and any division is good for us as the United States.
I believe that there are a lot of people of color in this country who don't think it was just lasting embers of racism, but that a lot more work had to be done, particularly given the history of the systemic racism in this country with slavery and beyond.
Yeah, you listen to this woman, bro. Listen to a woman whose face always looks like she's a deer in the headlights. Okay, that's resting deer in the headlights face. Dana Bash. Okay, try to tell this man. Well, I don't think that people of color think that this is just lasting embers of racism. I think that white supremacy is a huge problem in this country. I think it's terrible. Okay, if you think white supremacy is such a big problem, Dana, then quit your job. Leave your job. You're contributing to the system of white supremacy. Again, I can't stand when white liberals do this. They sit on their high horse in their positions of power, and then they tell so-called people of color or so-called minorities that don't think like them, that don't agree with the liberal narrative, how they're supposed to feel, right? This is what she just did. Well, I think that there's a lot of minorities in the country don't feel like, they're just lasting embers of racism, that, racism is going away or that it's getting better, that white supremacy is not a problem. Well, how do you know that, Dana? You ain't Black. You ain't a so-called person of color. You a liberal white woman.
Why is he so damn angry over that? Why is he so angry? I'll play that again. Why is he so damn angry?
Such a big problem, Dana. Then quit your job. Leave your job. You're contributing to the system of white supremacy. Again, I can't stand.
Didn't this man just say? Didn't he just say? Family, maybe I missed it. Didn't he say that white supremacy ain't a threat to him? So you know what white supremacy looks like if you just said what you just said. But you don't think it's a problem? What? Maybe y'all tell me. Yo 103 Queen, I promise I'll shout out everybody. That is Greg Foreman. Didn't this man just say at the beginning of the video that white supremacy is not a threat to him, and white supremacy, he doesn't see it, but Dana Bush, that's when you see it? It makes what? Sir, you're literally wearing a white supremacist shirt. Is this guy for real right now? I swear, you know what? I can't wait till November 5th, 2024. I can't, because I swear to God, even if the GOP wins, this Black conservative grift is done. It's done. Look, before I go back to this video, I got to explain something to you conservatives that ride with Trump. I get that that's your man, but y'all also have to understand you're on borrowed time right now. You got about 14 months left. Get your coins. I'm not mad at you. Rob, Torian, and I, TD, we lit, Grind to Motivate, Moxie, we talk about getting that grift money. I get it. Hotep Jesus, he talk about getting that grift money. I get it. But at least we got some scruples at the end of the day. Y'all just come out here to stoke up white folk so y'all can get coins, like kissing Trump's ass all day. I get it. It would be noble if y'all were doing it for the right reason. Y'all want to see Black people rise up and you want to expose white supremacy. It would be noble. But for y'all to sit up here and act like white supremacy doesn't exist, I find that comical. Let's go down the list really quickly. Candace Owens, you found out white supremacy exists when you put your kid up on Facebook and they owned your kid. So much so you said you vowed you'd never put your kids back on social media again. You went to Nashville airport on your way to London to go spend vacation time with your husband's family. And that white girl who was methed out, cussing at cops, she even thought that she was over you because she asked you point blank, are you a black woman? No, are you a black person? Trump turned on you in that interview you did with him when he started talking about the coffee venereal disease ascensions. Off you. Tatum, you found out white supremacy existed when you started talking about Uvalde and you tried to defend them cops. People in your comment thread, mostly white, destroyed you for that. You let that wear off. Tyree Nichols show up. You say that some of them cops should not go to jail. Your comment thread in real time, we showed it, destroyed you for that. Amala, you were this rising star in the conservative circles. Everybody was platforming you. Candace platformed you. You were on Fox News. Breitbart got a couple blurbs from you. You were a darling. You were getting numbers on Instagram. Then you joined PragerU and started talking stuff. Your numbers started dwindling. You found out white supremacy existed. Especially when you talked about what happened with the Proud family. Because even white people that were trying to say they don't like racism and they don't like reparations, they listened to your commentary and said you was a little out there. Like you was a little too angry with that. Greg Foreman, you literally just sat on your own commentary, and I get it. You service a dumb crowd. I get that. You literally just told your crowd white supremacy is not a threat to you, and white supremacy you don't see as a problem. Yet you just labeled Dana Bush a white supremacist. I forgot. I'm sorry. Because she's on the left. Allegedly, because we don't know. She might be a moderate for all we know. But I fail to see the correlation. See, this is why we call people suspected white supremacists, because we don't know. I fail to see the correlation with her asking this man I'm sorry. She was asking him a question based on something he said. She didn't trap him through questioning into something he just got caught saying. He literally said it on a stage. Now, we put her in the suspected white supremacist category. It's on her to confirm this. But you caping for this man when he is a brown white supremacist. Got it. I'm still looking for this video. Go ahead.
And when white liberals do this, they sit on their high horse in their positions of power, and then they tell so-called people of color or so-called minorities that don't think like them, that don't agree with the liberal narrative, how they're supposed to feel, right?
That's white supremacy. That's white supremacy. God, he's dumb.
She just did. Well, I think that there's a lot of minorities in the country don't feel like, they're just lasting embers of
minorities.
Racism, that, racism is going away or that it's getting better, that white supremacy is not a problem. Well, how do you know that, Dana? You ain't black. You ain't a so-called person of color. You a liberal white woman.
How do you know she's liberal?
Again, it's crazy how this works, guys. I want you guys to understand. If this was a progressive, okay, if Vivek Ramaswamy was a progressive, she would never say something like that in response. She would listen. She would have empathy. She would nod her head and she wouldn't say nothing.
Are you dumb? You're going to tell me she's going to ignore him calling a black woman, putting a black woman and KKK in the same sentence? You think they're going to ignore that? Boy, I don't know. I don't know what factory they got this man from, but all right, go ahead.
But because he's a conservative, she feels that she can now say and tell him how minorities think about the issue of race. Right? She thinks she knows she would not be progressive. She would never say something like that in response. She would listen. She would have empathy. She would nod her head and she wouldn't say nothing. But because he's a conservative, she feels that she can now say and tell him how minorities think about the issue.
Sir, he's not a conservative. They're just dumb. They don't pay attention. They really don't. Sir, Greg Foreman, he's not a conservative. He's not a conservative. He never told you he was a conservative. And if he did, he's lying. He's a libertarian. And he's doing a very bad job of trying to articulate libertarian talking points. Again, go look up his Colin Noir video. He was very bad. He is a grift. Again, this is the same man who said that Trump didn't go far enough. He modeled his website off America First 2.0. He's doing MAGA talking points. He's literally following the shadow of Trump. And if anybody knows the history of Donald Trump, he used to be a Democrat. Vivek is not, I repeat, he is not a conservative. He comes off as a teenage rebel who got disillusioned with what was going on in the world and didn't like the liberal side. So he's trying to fake being a conservative because he knows there's more dumbasses on that side. Because at least the liberal side will call him out. The conservatives, they'll lap up anything he says until he meets the right one. And we saw what happened. I played the video with Christy Kelly. We saw what happened when he started getting a little bit of pushback from somebody on the conservative side. He didn't like it. Yeah.
Issue of race, right? She thinks she knows more than he knows, even though he is a so-called minority talking about his experience. Again, this is the type of bigotry that comes from the left that they don't want to acknowledge and that they don't want to talk about. This I know better than you attitude, especially when it comes to this issue of race. It blows my mind. It pisses me off. He personally thinks that, hey, the media, politicians, universities, they're driving a lot of the so-called racism in this country. And that racism is not as big of a deal as it was before in the past. That's not controversial. I think what he's saying is factual. But Dana Bash takes issue with that as a liberal white woman whose job is to come out here and to play up white supremacy as this big dangerous threat, okay? And they're going to take advantage of this shooting and these families and their loss, okay? They're going to take advantage of dead people in order to play up this narrative about white supremacy. She thinks that, well, I know better than you do. I know how minorities feel better than you do. Again, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And it gets even worse.
That's called her having a newsroom and people perusing the internet and looking at what people are saying about it. Sir, just like we did. You don't believe me. Greg Foreman, welcome to the Tabernacle. We pull receipts here, sir. You said she got called out by who? Vivek? What did he call her out on? He looked dumb in that interview. You don't believe me. Now, I know you're going to tell me this is Twitter. Ain't nobody supposed to take Twitter seriously. There's a whole bunch of liberals and conservatives and moderates in this thread that did not agree with what Vivek did. You don't believe me. Look. He wasn't Let's see. Is he? He might be conservative. Look, Republican accountability. So he's a Republican. He didn't like that. That's a Republican. He didn't like what he did. Okay. Ben Owen. Let's see. Ben. Ooh, he's a big one. He's MAGA. He's MAGA. And he put this up. Now he kept it nice and even, because he knew if either went either side, he would have got killed. But that's okay. Here we go. Bias. What bias? Well, that was back in June, so we don't need that one. Okay, let's see. Let's see the latest. It's probably the same thing. Here we go. Okay, here we go. We already know. I didn't even realize they still use the egg on Twitter. She got eviscerated by Vivek Ramaswamy. She looked like a school child arguing with the principal. CNN should stick to covering news instead of pushing their narrative. Representative Bush said something extremely racist against Vivek. What did she say? What did she say? Didn't we play what she said yesterday? Something to the effect that he seems unqualified. I didn't realize that me calling you unqualified meant that you should call me the Grand Wizard of the KKK. But he's not anti-black. He's not anti-black. But he's not anti-black. Okay. Back to the video. It's like I cut Greg off again. I cut him off again.
It gets even worse.
I want to ask you about a comment that you made about white supremacy.
You're a lying bastard.
I'm sure the boogeyman white supremacist exists somewhere in America. I've just never met him. Never seen one. Never met one in my life. Right? Maybe I'll meet a unicorn sooner. And maybe those exist too.
How does he lie? He's in Ohio. How does he lie? Bruh, he lives in Ohio. He gonna tell me he ain't see no white supremacists in Ohio? Ohio. Oh, God. Ohio. Ohio.
Dude. Yeah, so before I get into this, I feel the exact same way. I've never met a white supremacist in my life. I'm sure a lot of these woke race hustlers out here that boo-hoo-whine and complain about white supremacy all day, they've never met a white supremacist. A vast majority of people in this country have never met a white supremacist, but yet they want to boo-hoo-whine and complain about boo-hoo-whine and cry about white supremacy. Again, it's amazing. It really is.
So just because somebody hasn't encountered one doesn't mean that the notion of white supremacy doesn't exist as a threat in America. What do you think?
He never said that, right? He never said it. He never said there were no white supremacists. He just said him personally, he hasn't encountered it, and he probably doesn't think it's that big of a deal. He doesn't think it's that big of an issue. He doesn't think that it's as big of an issue as the media is trying to play it up to be, because they're trying to divide people. They're trying to make it seem like white people are the problem. Again, this is what he's calling out. But again, Dana Bash is too dense, and she has too much propaganda to push in order to actually realize that and understand that.
Goes through the minds of the families of the 3 victims in yesterday's shooting when they hear you say that white supremacy is basically a fantasy.
What a disgusting question, right? What a disgusting question. You sit up talking about, guys, this woman is literally trying to connect this man's comments with the traffic.
Okay, Greg. See, this is what we do here in New Black Media. We do research, sir. We do research. And by the way, I'm still looking for that video. Sir, now you said, well, Vivek said he never encountered and never seen a white supremacist in his life. Again, he's from Ohio. That is a white supremacist haven, but okay. Ohio's a big state. I have a question. I think I the family would agree with me asking this question. Before we ask this question, a friend of mine want to say something.
Get that water. He about to get this work. He about to get this work.
Vivek, like cake, Ramaswamy. You said you've never seen this. Okay. You live in Columbus, Ohio. I'm not doxing him. This is exactly what he said. He lives in Columbus, college town, home of the Ohio State. Sir, what happened in 2019? I'm sorry, in 2022? What does this say? Them folk recruitment flyers left on driveways in Sharon Township elsewhere. The Columbus Dispatch. Recruitment flyers for them folk recently have been distributed to several neighborhoods in greater Columbus, prompting concern from residents, police, and social justice groups. About 30 homes in a predominantly black neighborhood in Sharon Township, north of Worthington, awoke Monday to find the flyers inside plastic bags containing rice on their driveways. Homes that had BLM messages received a second flyer next to their sign, said Township Police Sergeant Dan Grant, who suspected the rice was to keep the flyers from blowing away. I actually remember this story, and I remember the New Black Media covering this story. You're still going to tell me that white supremacy is not a threat? The Loch Ness Monster is a legend. Nobody in the world's seen it. Matter of fact, they're right now converging to go find it in Scotland. Who am I to tell them that it doesn't exist? Like Torian said, Bigfoot. Nobody's seen them. Doesn't mean it didn't exist. I get that you fools need to see white supremacy physically to believe that it exists. Y'all were the same ones killing Kamami over leaving black people in jail past their sentences. That's white supremacy. But I get it. A black face is attached to it, so you can't say that it is. I get it. Y'all are, oh Lord, y'all need help. But yeah, white supremacy don't exist, right? KKK is right there in Ohio. But it don't exist. Interesting. Still waiting for him to call her out. He didn't call her out, not one time, but all right.
Tragedy that happened in Jacksonville. What do you think the families of these victims, how do you think they would feel listening to your comments about white supremacy? Again, how disgusting is that? She's using these people as a political tool to advance her agenda. She don't give a damn about these families. After this story is done, she's not going to think about these families and these victims ever again. She's not going to think about it. But she's...
Why would she? Why would you? You've proven that you have no scruples. You'll take one story and jump to something else. You literally contradicted yourself again. You literally put yourself in league with white supremacy. Buffalo happened. You may have reported on it. Uvalde happened a week later. You were all over it. We were still talking about Buffalo. Y'all ran to Uvalde. That's how y'all operate. It's not about exhausting a story. It's called looking at every angle. We explore things. That's why we have intimate knowledge of what goes on in this country, in this world. Y'all just look at it through a linear lens. Y'all are like James Woods in Family Guy when he said piece of candy. That's how y'all act. But go ahead and keep talking.
Sitting here and trying to use them as a political tool to advance her agenda. Again, these people have no shame. No shame. This is probably one of the most disgusting questions I've ever heard in my life.
I'm sure they're grieving for their loss, and I don't want to politicize those victims. Dana, this is a very sensitive situation which you have nothing but foremost respect for those victims and not bring them into partisan politics. And I answered honestly. Most of that racism has come from the modern left. It's happening during the course of this campaign. Kara Swisher calling me Ramaswamy the other day and reveling in making twists of my last name. People effectively reducing me to the color of my skin and my attributes. That comes today from the modern left. But the reality is...
You acknowledge
part of the
that
dogma
white
in this
supremacy
country.
does still exist.
Animus exist in the United States, including fringe branches. I mean, that's clearly what was at the head of this mentally deranged
Fringe
individual responsible
branches
for the shooting. Yes, but I think there are many forms of mental derangement that cause us to see one another on the basis of our skin color and our attributes. And I think what we need to revive, Dana, and it's my job as the leader, hopefully as the next president, to do this, to revive our doctrine of e pluribus unum, not just celebrating our diversity and our skin deep attributes. I think what unites us across that diversity, that's what we've forgotten in the United States of America. Our true strength is the set of ideals that unite us. That's my job to revive as our next president. And I think that the next generation in particular is so starved for that, starved for commonality, starved for a nation that is unified, bigger than the sum of its parts. That's what we need to recreate in this country. And to those who say the remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination, I say no. The right remedy is actually abandoning all discrimination and moving forward with colorblind meritocracy in the United States of America.
You took it to another level on Friday, in addition to the
So again, you notice how she never engages with the man's arguments, right? She never engages when he talks about the racism that comes from the left. She just deflects. Well, do you think that white supremacy is an issue, though? Right? I guess she's just focused on the propaganda. She's just focused on trying to get him to say what they want him to say, or to try to get a gotcha, instead of actually engaging with the argument. She won't do it, right? She won't do it.
Family, maybe it's me, but she did do it. And he literally fell into her trap. I don't know if it's a trap. I'm just saying. The shooter was a registered Republican. He was part of the Florida GOP. Correct? Am I correct in that? She literally asked this man, do you acknowledge that white supremacy still exists in this country? Now, mind you, she's such a leftist. Remember, leftists never wanted to bring up white supremacy. They never did. They waited till we kept saying it, then they wanted to say it. They never brought it up themselves. Malcolm done told us years ago, the white supremacist, the white liberal is the most dangerous person in the league. Maybe. All right. Literally. And then he said, what? The most racism I got was from the modern left. Okay, sir.
She's never going to talk about the racism coming from the left. Okay, she's never going to talk about the fact that it is wrong to try to reduce people to their skin color by saying that, hey, you only can think a certain way if you are non-white. Okay, you only can think a certain way. You can't, think outside of what we tell you that you can think. She don't want to have that conversation. It's just so disgusting how the liberal media is using mass shootings, how they use dead black people in order to push an agenda. And quite honestly, that has led to so much political violence in this country. That's what led to the BLM protest. Using dead black folks to push an agenda that's not even true, right? About white police officers out here indiscriminately killing black men in the street. Not true. And that led to the most violence and destruction that we've seen in this country in a long, long, long time. And again, it happens because the media is dead set on continuing to divide people off this issue of race. Instead of just calling this shooter what he is, which is just an evil person who committed an evil act. Yes, he did it because of race. That doesn't necessarily mean that the country as a whole, white people are, bad, okay, or that white supremacy is such a big thing. It's not.
Oh, God. Play it again.
Just an evil person who committed an evil act. Yes, he did it because of race. That doesn't necessarily.
Okay. So that's not white supremacy, right? That's just somebody being evil. That's just somebody being evil. When the shooter's white, it's just somebody being evil. It's just somebody being evil. So never mind the fact that him and his people were sitting on Facebook writing bullshit about black people, calling us yard apes, and saying I got their reparations. Oh God. I don't Smoke Splitter, I don't want to make peace with this man. I don't like him. I really don't.
I mean that the country as a whole, that white people are bad, okay, or that white supremacy is such a big thing. It's not. It's not. And to continue to push that narrative, they're pushing it as a means to divide. They're not pushing it as a means to actually have people come together, to have understanding, to move forward in this country. They want to keep us in a Jim Crow type mentality in our society. That's what they're doing. Progressivism.
Now he brings up Jim Crow. Boy. He keeps making a case for me that he's not from this soil. His people are not from this soil. Jim Crow? Jim Crow. Jim Crow, you say? Okay, white supremacy doesn't exist, right, Greg? White supremacy literally flooded out a whole town in Georgia to make a lake. But white supremacy doesn't exist, right? White supremacy doesn't exist. White supremacy literally paid off the slave owners $3,000 per slave. But it doesn't exist, right? New York Life literally made their bones and became a global company by insuring slaves. But again, white supremacy doesn't exist, right? White supremacy almost bankrupted the entire planet because they mismanaged money because they want to enrich themselves. But white supremacy doesn't exist. White supremacy literally committed the biggest wealth transfer in human history 3 years ago. But white supremacy doesn't exist, right? I'm going to get in trouble for saying this comparison. Bringing up this metaphor / analogy. White supremacy doesn't exist. Alex Jones is still being quoted to this day. People who should not be bringing him up on TV still bring him up every now and again. To me, that's a glaring visual of white supremacy, since they say he's so bad. Joe Rogan said the N-word, defended it, and still has a platform. How about that? Nick Fuentes got to say all he said about them folk, the real estate agents, and he hasn't disappeared off the face of the earth. Because we know how them folk are when you talk about them. Yet they try to destroy Kanye West's entire life. They tried to throw Kyrie Irving out of the league. They made Jay-Z take a lyric out of a song that he already recorded. But white supremacy doesn't exist, right? I bet you wouldn't say that if they took down your channel. What are you going to say? Oh, no, I get it. People were being evil to me. They didn't like what I was saying.
It's just regressivism in disguise, especially when it comes to social issues. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment.
Yeah, share a black conservative perspective, and you're gonna get cursed out in a discussion. I'm still looking for this video. In the meantime, let's get some Black American perspectives. What the hell? What the hell was that? There's the link. Let's see who wants to come up and say something. What do you mean, what video? No, he's not one of them Fred Hampton leftist dudes. No, this dude said that Jalen Walker deserved what he got. I'm still looking for this video. The man. Hello, sir.
Listen, that was so cringe.
May I
that was one of the most cringe videos that he's ever done, and he's done.
May I apologize for subjecting you to that?
I mean, I understand because you had to like put it out there. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't see or go anywhere near his channel. So if you didn't talk about it, I wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't either. But I just went around to that black conservative sector. I just wanted to see if they said something about it, because you know how long they waited to say something about Montgomery. And then when I saw that, I was like, okay, I know he spun it, and there he go, he spun it.
And he, like I said, he did so much double speak in that video, like so many times.
Mm-hmm. I really think he took down his Jalen Walker video, because I don't see it.
What did he say in that video? That was the video I was talking about when I asked what video.
Oh, he said that he deserved what he got. That's what initially made me start railing against him. Because I'm like, how do you sit up there and say that?
That's fine, because something's going to happen to him and he's going to deserve what he gets.
If you take, man, I don't even know how you say something like that. At least say the coon line that, hey, you know what, you should have just complied. He said he deserved what he got. Even though he ain't even had a piece on him. But this guy, man, this them black conservatives gonna doom us all too. They're gonna doom us.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed he didn't say nothing about Sha'Carri Richardson whooping that ass, though. I noticed that, because 2 years ago he was on her helmet.
A lot of people were, and a lot of people are quiet now too.
Mm-hmm. And shout out to America. They got the most medals out of that whole competition. Jamaica only got 12. So shout out to them. They lost to white people yesterday.
Who did?
Jamaica. Yeah, Tripe and Bean Twitter is really quiet this morning.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was watching Tariq last night, and he was showing the press conference that they did and what Sha'Carri has said.
Mm-hmm. I ain't even listen. I ain't even watch the show. Where? Oh, you mean the one where she was calling out the reporters?
Well, them, and well, she was calling out some of the people in Jamaica too, but she did it in a very slick way that if you didn't catch it, it probably would have went over your head.
Might have to go watch that. Yeah, where is Tripe and Bean Twitter this morning?
They trying to.
I want to see all that black girl magic y'all was talking about a couple of days ago. I take an L to white people. Come on.
Well, literally, it was a really good weekend for everybody involved in some kind of Olympic style thing. I mean, between Sha'Carri Richardson and Noah Lyles, and shout out to him because he's a DMV native. and also Simone Biles, because she got her 8th world championship title.
Most in history. Go ahead.
And the thing is, when it comes to Sha'Carri and Simone, you know, they both had some, like, you know, some issues they were going through a couple years ago, and they came back like nothing was wrong.
Shout out to
and they had a lot of people, and they had a lot of people going, and they had a lot of people going in on them for whatever reason, but now they all quiet.
Yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to y'all and y'all's perseverance.
Yeah, they said Sha'Carri is now the fastest woman in the world.
Oh, Jamaicans are trying to lie about that too. They're like, she didn't win the record. She ain't get the record. I'm like, she literally got the record. They literally marked it down the record. Then the next thing was, oh, well, at least Elaine, she beat no, who was it? Shelly Ann. She's over a cheater. I'm like, what? Was Flojo ever caught cheating? No. So
right, even though they tried to make it seem like she was, because she got drug tested so many times.
I don't know, bro. This is a fun election cycle, but it's also very frustrating.
Yeah, it's going, like I said, it's going to be a very frustrating year to come. But think of it this way: it's all going to come down to it next year on November the 5th, and we will see what happens.
Yeah, it sucks he took this video down. I wanted y'all to hear every word he said.
You can't find it anywhere.
I'm going through his archive right now, and I'm gonna go back the other way, and I'm going to see if I could find it, because I Googled it and it didn't come up, and usually it would come up. So I'm gonna try to look again, but I'm not seeing it.
What was the name of the video?
It had Jalen Walker's name in it.
Was he talking about LeBron James too?
No.
Okay. No, the reason I asked is I just happened to type it on the Google. I just happened to type it into Google, and it had LeBron James' name in it, but it had Jalen Walker's name in it as well. So I was trying to figure out.
No, I think that was something about LeBron, like something that he tweeted about it, and he tried to clown him over it. But yeah, I'm not bastard. I really think he took it down. And he does so much video, so it takes a while for the damn thing to load.
He literally has an IMDb profile, and in the profile picture, he looks like a damn caricature. Like he looks like a deer, literally caught in the headlights.
But how did you feel about him saying white supremacy doesn't exist? Well, no, I'm sorry. Let me not misquote him. He said white supremacy is not a threat. Let me not misquote him. Because I still don't understand how he really did a video about pearly things. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I don't know how you. I don't even know how you make that correlation, but okay. Yeah, he took it down, family. Scruples. You see what happens when you have integrity? You don't get a whole bunch of people coming up in here talking about, oh, you telling lies. People actually push back on your narrative and make you actually think about things in life. Maybe you were wrong somewhere.
He has no integrity. That's how he got all those subscribers.
Yeah,
because he lacks integrity.
It's just funny that when I was when you were talking in there, and I forgot what you said. You said something, and it started making me really listen to his videos with a different ear. And I was like, "Fucking Torian's always right."
It was a comment I left in the chat.
Yeah. and it made me really start listening to his video differently. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like,
did I say when I said we need to see his paperwork?
no, I didn't see that comment. It was something about when he was talking when on the first video, when I reacted to the first video.
Oh damn, I'm probably gonna find that comment.
Yeah, you're not gonna find it. And I was like, how is this motherfucker always right? But
the one, is it the one where I said because he didn't personally encounter racism, it doesn't exist? I said
right, yeah, that
Bigfoot,
one,
but believe it exists.
Right.
They still think Elvis alive somewhere.
I guess, yeah. Family, I really just played those two videos to show y'all how dangerous the black conservative mindset is.
Oh yes, I got
it's
a
very
couple
dangerous.
videos coming up about a couple of them later on. I don't know if it'll be this week, maybe next week.
Yeah, that's a very dangerous mindset. Like, how do you?
And that's how the typical PC person wants us to be. That they want us all to think in that vein.
Yeah, no, we good on that. Because we're not going to be. Wait, hold on. Don't tell me he went to Jimmy Dore. Don't tell me that. Oh God. Y'all go give me more content. I love y'all. Shout out to you. Don't tell me he went on Jimmy Dore talking like this. Damn, I can't find it. Whatever, I don't care. Anyway, how'd you feel about Ola Verne? Since I have you up here.
Laverne Spicer. I have some things coming up that I have to say about her. I'm not gonna say it on here, but
please don't.
You'll see what I have to say when the time comes out. I already have the videos recorded. It's just a matter of putting them out there. But I got some other stuff that got to come up first.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let people think that I didn't see it. Well, clearly I did, because I posted up the screenshot on my community tab so people can get an understanding of what this woman actually said. And then she said some other stuff, like literally this woman literally made, like, ever since that mugshot came out about him, she's literally made her page a Trump shrine, whether it's pictures or anything that she posts. I said, as her husband, if I was her husband, I would be concerned. And just a little word of advice, or a little word to people out there: Laverne Spicer is married to a black man, so don't think that just because she's with a black man that she can't coon her ass off. She definitely is. Granted, she's the exception and not the rule, but she is. Think Ben Carson, because Ben Carson is married to a black woman, and that man cooned his butt off since before he even before he tried to run for president.
Nice. That's quite interesting. That's quite interesting. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't get this.
Like you said, it's all a grift.
The grift is beautiful. Why did I do this? Why didn't I do this 7 years ago? I should have done this 7 years ago. I'd be sitting pretty right now with no scruples.
I wonder what their day-to-day life is like outside of YouTube. We see what their persona is online, but I wonder what they're like in their day-to-day life. Like, what do they do?
If I had to guess.
Because if you notice, many of them don't post content outside of their grift. Like, most times whenever you see Fakem, the Hodge twins, ABL, Greg Foreman, the Coonstress, and the like, whenever they post content outside of YouTube or anywhere that's a video sharing platform, it always aligns with their grift. It's like they never stop. It's like it does not turn off. They probably grift in their dreams.
He actually tweeted something.
Who, Greg Foreman?
Mm-hmm. He actually tweeted something. Here you go.
Oh yeah, that David Hogg, that's a guy they don't like.
Last time he tweeted something was yesterday.
He said gold medal for the what? For the mental
The mental
what? For the mental
the mental
gymnastics display.
gymnastics display here. He brought up white supremacy. The white man brought up white supremacy.
Like I said, they don't like him. I don't know too much about David Hogg, but I've heard of him before, and they do not like him. They really don't like him. Like anytime he posts something, people like a Great Foreman always come back with something like what he just reposted. But my thing is this: like he just managed to turn this. He managed to politicize this thing the way that he did, and then did the double speak right there at the end. And now he's throwing on the cape for Vivek.
Should we play this?
I've seen that.
No,
video.
you know what? I'm gonna take that for Rod. Oh, I know.
I've seen that video.
Okay.
Like literally, like all he had, like literally, it's nothing but Ramaswamy all through his timeline.
I'm sorry, family.
Trump, Ramaswamy, 2024.
But he MAGA.
That's the winning ticket,
boy. Winning ticket for Biden. He ain't got to do no work. Let me tell you something. Hey, RNC, you put this ticket out here, you might as well end your party.
I can't wait for their grift to end.
I'm telling you, November 5th, it's going to end that night.
Why can't it be November 5th of this year?
You know why? Because there's nothing going on. Unless something happens. That's why I said, you notice they never click up and do live streams together, because you know one of them gonna say something and they're gonna be like, the crowd's gonna be like, wait a minute, do y'all all think like that? Right. Oh, nah, we've been supporting you like this all them years now.
I bet many of them don't even like each other like that.
I mean, I won't say ABL and Tatum, they hook up every now and again. And shout out to ABL. You finally got 1 million subscribers, so shout out to him. But yeah, I mean, they click up every now and again. They've been on panels together, so don't nobody be calling this dude.
I bet no one calls them. They probably like, lose my number.
Yeah, but like you're a little too far. Look at this. From your lips to God's ears. Yes, sir. We will get the job done quickly and correctly.
They got a whole page.
Somebody create a whole parody account.
These people are stupid. And I'm not even into politics like that. And even I know they don't.
Hope it happens. You a black man? Are you sure? That look like an AI.
Probably. You got 80 followers and 80 followers and 6 followers, and you bought a blue check. Come on now. And when did he create this account? In 2023? No, 2013. And all you got is 80 followers.
2013.
What? So what you been doing on that account for 10 years?
Nothing. Leo Frey.
Notice people bought they bought these blue checks, but they barely got any followers.
Oh, this one is a little sizable. You think Trump will do it? No, he won't.
Y'all are living in a pipe dream if y'all think that's gonna happen. The clown show has begun. When did you say the next debate was?
How you go? September 27th, Wednesday night. Starts at 9 o'clock again. I'm just waiting to see who they're going to have moderate that.
What's going to be?
I know they ain't going to bring them two back. Fox. Huh? Wait, say that again.
I didn't say anything. I was just saying, like, where was it going to be at? You said Fox.
Oh, it's going to be in California. Yeah, it's gonna be on Fox. It's gonna be on
It's
Reagan
gonna be where
Library.
Larry Elder is at. I wonder if Larry Elder
That's
gonna
gonna
try
be
to
an
sue
interesting
him.
night. Yes, you know what? While we're here, before we go, let's check out the lawsuit. Here's the lawsuit.
The lawsuit that never was.
Let's see. Oh. Mm-hmm. What is this? Old Glory Bank is the first FDIC insured bank for patriotic Americans. They don't judge or cancel law-abiding customers. Christian nonprofit files lawsuit against allegedly being debanked due to conservative religious views. Here we go. I'm a little behind in my lawsuit. Do say Larry Elder stop the GOP debate yet? Wait, you want to go talk to Sid Rosenberg? Let's hear this before we go. This is just funny. I wonder what. Oh, while I'm doing that, let me see what he said about Jacksonville. What did you say, Larry, about Jacksonville? Let's see. He didn't say nothing.
Well, someone asked where they were at.
Larry, come on, bro.
They never have nothing to say when
Come
this
on, you
happens.
had a
They
whole-
probably hate when it happens, not because of the actual event itself, but because they can't spin it.
"60 years ago this week, Martin Luther King Jr. marched on Washington, D.C. Since then, we have all heard the words, 'I have a dream.' But those words have been distorted by detached, cynical politicians who exploit MLK's vision for the sake of power." You mean like you?
Sort of like yourself. Like we literally
Thank
say
you.
the same thing like you.
Thank you. And you're promoting your Daily Caller piece. Okay. At 5 a.m. Pacific time on the Sid Rosenberg Show, I discussed my complaint against the Republican National Committee filed with the FCC over my exclusion from the GOP debate, even though I met the RNC criteria to qualify. Listen live, because a white woman said no.
This dude is literally acting like that.
Did Biden publicly condemn the Tulsa, Oklahoma? So this is what Greg was talking about. Okay. So he admitted to doing this, and you think this is a justification to say that that white boy didn't kill those people because of race. He was just evil. Then you want to take shots at Biden saying that, damn it. Why y'all make me do this?
Insult to my existence.
They found the anomaly and said that this was normal with black people. Let's listen to Larry Elder.
Is this Sid Rosenberg?
Where is this?
With ever longer ingredient lists on beauty products, it's hard to tell what you're really buying. That's why Sephora is committed to cutting through the clutter and confusion, helping to push the industry forward by showing what's really in our products.
I don't care.
Products formulated without
I don't care about that. But how's your day been going so far?
It's been going good. I uploaded my video on Ryan Palmer, and I got my collab coming tomorrow with Nicole's View and Afro Elite about Michael Jackson.
Cool.
And those two ambulance chasers,
nice.
Wade Robson and James Safechuck. It's going to be a nice little hour-long video. And ironically, tomorrow is Michael Jackson's birthday.
Yes, sir. Get that. Bunker TV, hello. Yes, he did. Yes, they did. CNN did cook him. But let's hear what he said about the lawsuits. And then we'll get up out of here.
How are you?
I'm doing well, Sid. That was quite a setup for the black face of white supremacy. Thank you.
The industry forward without parabens, sulfate, or steel. You know you're.
Yo, Larry. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well, Sid. That was
Hello,
quite a
Larry.
setup
Good
for the
morning,
black
buddy.
face
How
of
are
white
ya?
supremacy. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, that's what you are. You're the black face of white supremacy. I mean,
technically, it's not a lawsuit. It's a complaint that I filed with the federal elections.
With that last name, I already know he's one of the folks, but is he from New York too?
You know, were 40,000 individual donors. Check. 200 had to come from 20 different states. Check. And you had to submit 3 polls where you were at least 1%. Check, check, check. Get a phone call from Ron McDaniel. I'm sorry, we're disqualifying you. Why? Because one poll you submitted we can't use. Which one? Rasmussen. Why can't you use it? Well, it's affiliated with Donald Trump. Well, assuming that's true, what does that have to do with me? Well, any poll affiliated with any candidate can't be used by any other candidate. I said the same Rasmussen poll that you guys quote all the time, the same one that was the most accurate in 2016, yeah, can't use it. So we submitted another one, but then they said you submitted that one too late. Even though the polling of that one was done before the deadline, the results weren't published until after the deadline. So they said that I'm not eligible because I submitted that one too late. Now, check this out, Sid. One of the guys up there gave a $20 gift certificate for a $1 donation. That apparently is okay. Another guy up there gave a commission for people to go out and get other people, and then they got commission for getting other people. That apparently is okay, but I did it the old-fashioned way. I said, go to my website, larryola.com, make a contribution. That's apparently not good enough. And by the way, 5 or so of these polls, national polls, never even mentioned my name. So I don't know how you get 1% when they don't even mention your name. Well, mentioning names like Liz Cheney, who isn't even running, or Glenn Youngkin, who isn't even running, or Mike Pompeo, who isn't even running. So,
Big white supremacy, Larry. Seems like the system's working.
Right.
You're not even a factor.
Dumbass.
In short, I got shafted. So I'm filing a complaint. My lawyer is a former chair of the Federal Election Commission. He argues that by not putting me up there, by not using the same criteria against me as against the other ones that made it.
I know.
Essentially, what RNC did was give an in-kind contribution to the 8 people who made it, and also what Fox News did was give an in-kind contribution to those who made it. So therefore, both could be subject to a $100 million fine by the FEC.
Wow. Well, you know I'm on your side.
Larry, just pull yourself up by your
guy also did that
bootstraps.
gift certificate nonsense. He ended up on stage, and he's not nearly as good as you are. I mean,
Coon
look,
straps.
I'll get to the debate in a second, but clearly, you know, you mentioned that Rasmussen polled Donald Trump. I was told by someone in your team that they even bum rushed Don Jr. and Kimberly out with security. So clearly, the RNC, the folks at that debate, were anti-Trump. And is that fair to say?
Well, that's right. I didn't even mention that. Not only put up a big sign at security and said, if Elder shows up, don't let anybody on his team.
They banned you from the building. Oh, no. You want to hear any more?
Not really. He's going to be going on this little crusade for a little bit. No one cares.
Now, here's a question before we go. If he gets on that debate stage, was it because that he met all the requirements or that he cried?
That he cried. And they got tired of hearing from him. So they said, okay, you
right,
big
just get
baby,
your ass up there.
Let's just go ahead and let you be up here so you can get destroyed. And then we can send you on your way.
But now when he gets destroyed, is he going to cry? They were picking on me.
Probably. And like I said, people like Larry Elder and Greg Foreman and all of them who said that they don't believe white supremacy exists or it's not that bad or we need to stop, exaggerating it. They cannot use the thing of, oh, they were racist against me and everything like that. I noticed when I was looking through the comment section, his base were the ones saying that for him because he can't say it. He's already dug his hole and buried himself underneath the dirt when he said that, it's not that bad or this is a well and fair and balanced system. How ironic. You went on the Breakfast Club and said that. And then a few days later, this happens. But see, he buried himself, so he can't say what he probably really wants to say because now it'll make him look like a hypocrite and then his base is going to look at him funny. But it was like, wait a minute, your base was the ones that saying, Larry, why don't you just call out and say what it is instead of just racing? But y'all be the same ones that said, you know what, Larry, you're white. White supremacy isn't that bad, or it's not real, or it's a figment of people's imagination. Listen, between the person who they hold up in themselves, it's literally like being in a multiverse. They all do the double speak. But like you said, and I'm gonna, hold you to it. November 5th, 2024, the grift is coming to an end. And I think I did a video similar to that a while ago. I think I was saying the grift is almost over. I don't know if I was talking about a multitude of people or one person, but I definitely remember doing a video. I think I titled it "The Grift is Almost Over."
Yeah. But this was fun. Thank you for coming up and giving me your perspective.
The truth's perspective, not his perspective.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course. And I'm putting something in the Discord in Blacklight's Discord. You might want to look at that real fast.
Did you just put it in there now?
Yeah, I just put it in there. And look who they used for the thumbnail. Live reaction by Tori and Rain.
Black conservative, the Democratic plantation is.
He's like, I'm not clicking that. Oh, he said, I'm not clicking that shit. He said, I'm not clicking that. Oh, no.
Fuck out of here.
My bad. I didn't want to mess up you. I didn't want to mess up your couple minutes with that, but I just found that funny. That's who they use for the thumbnail.
I mean, if they're trying to get a point across, I mean, I guess it worked. But either one of them would do.
Yeah. Vincent Taylor, hello. Yes, we did cover the debate. I'm gonna put the link in there for those who didn't see it or who wants to watch it again, because that was a fun night. But yeah, we did cover it. It was a long stream, but it was a fun stream. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here and get prepared for the 4:00 shows. That one's not gonna be long. I'm gonna try to max it at an hour because I want to talk about Reese from Roland's show, because she said something about reparations and Trump, and I was like, you got to be the dumbest person in. Okay, you're not the dumbest. You're one of them. Because I don't know how you say Trump and reparations, or a mugshot is reparations, but okay, fine.
What the? Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. But
right.
Y'all enjoy your day. Go get some lunch. Take care. Stay safe out there. And y'all know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your day.